What's up, everybody? I feel like I drank a gallon of water just now. Look, this is fruit. I should have filled it up. I like the way this fruit be tasting when it starts to melt, but it's gonna get kind of messy. But it's like like I used to put it in a blender with some water. I don't use juice. I keep telling people stop drinking juices. Stop drinking unless you like juice that you make. That's a little different. But like when you bought orange juice and apple juice, it took like 8 apples to make a glass of apple juice. You wouldn't sit up there and eat 8 apples, right? So if you're trying to lose weight, that's not a good way of losing weight by drinking juices, unless you're not going to eat all day. But I like to do the fruit like this. And I don't put no juice in it. I use just regular water. But I was talking about like people that be getting married. They be spending, like I was saying, big weddings are for people with big egos. Like you spend all that money to get married. People get married in front of a priest and get divorced in front of a judge. That don't make sense. I got married in front of a judge and I got divorced in front of a judge. You heard? Listen, people will be like when you get married, when you meet somebody, like I always tell you, look for the bad. Look for what you don't like. Look, like when the girl be putting all these pictures on Facebook and they be looking perfect. Like, I don't like a woman that look too perfect anyway. I be thinking it's a shim. I be thinking it's a man with a bunch of makeup on. Listen, don't get mad. That's what I be thinking. Because real women have flaws. But when you got perfect hair, perfect lip, perfect eyelashes, perfect shape, perfect breast, something don't seem right. So I don't be paying attention to that. I be thinking it's something else. Real women got flaws, like I said. But when I say when you put a picture on Facebook or you on a dating site, you look perfect. That don't look good because that ain't real. That's all them apps and them filters and stuff that people be using. Like I be telling people, look for the bad. Look for what you don't like. And ask yourself, can you live with it? Because whatever it is that you don't like about that person, you're not going to be able to change it. Grown people do not change. People say, well, I changed. I used to smoke cigarettes. You didn't change. You just stopped smoking cigarettes. Well, I used to smoke weed. You didn't change. You just stopped smoking weed. Grown people don't change. We don't change. After 6 years old, our personality is set. And like I always say, like I said, it may take you 18 years to change somebody. That's 18 years of your life that you don't wasted. You got to look for what because nobody's going to have everything you want, so to speak. They don't have everything. Humans have flaws, man. Nobody's perfect. You got to look for what you don't like about that person and ask yourself, can you tolerate it? And me and like when I was married, I was like, man, I'm not doing this shit. And it didn't last. You know, I ain't coming home arguing every day. Fuck that. That arguing shit is whack. That's why most men don't live long. Because they try to out-argue their wife. I ain't trying to argue with nobody. I don't argue with nobody. If you don't see eye to eye, I'm going to walk away. Fuck that. I ain't arguing with nobody. That's why I be putting shit on Facebook. People want to argue about it and make long-ass posts. Man, fuck that. I ain't. That's the way I feel, and you can't change my mind. So, but that's how I be saying it. People be going into relationships trying to change people. You cannot change people. All you're going to do is argue all day. That's why guys be sitting out in the car. That's why a husband and wife, you know, when they go home, they sit outside in the car for a while before they walk in the house because they got to regroup and get their head straight. Man, you got to think about all that before you get married. Because, you know, when I was married, my wife gave me the divorce, right? You know, I asked for a divorce and she gave it with no bullshit. And that's the thing. Like, you got to look, see, what people do don't surprise me. All you got to do is look, like I said, look for the bad. Look for what you don't like and ask yourself, can you tolerate it? And you won't get surprises. Look for the bad. Stop putting people on a pedestal and then see people got this misconception or this preconceived notion about people gonna be the way they want them to be because that's what they hope they're gonna be. It don't work like that. You don't know what's going on in a person's mind. You can't put your brain into my head so I could think like you, and I can't put my brain into your head so you could think like me. It's real simple, man. Life is simple. Humans create the obstacles. That's what I say. And I wasn't surprised when I asked for a divorce. I wasn't surprised. She gave it to me with no strings and no red tape to go through. Because that's the kind of person I knew she was when I met her. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at people. You got to look at what works for you. And then y'all will come together on a common ground. That's how that works. But you can't change nobody, man. You can't change nobody. You can't change grown people. And I keep telling you, that don't mean they're bad. That means they just not for you. One more thing I'm about to talk about. Like I be saying, when girls be coming out with like real sexy clothes and stuff, the only reason she get mad at me is because I'm not the, and I give her attention or a compliment, and she don't like the compliment. The only reason she don't like the compliment from me is because I am not the guy that appeals to her imagination. That's all. It's real simple. Once the guy that comes along that appeals to her imagination, then she gonna say something. Like I'm down here down south, and I'm down here down south, and like you be saying, country, you see a white girl with something on real sexy, give her a compliment. She might not like the compliment because she ain't into black guys. That don't mean she's a bad person. That just means she ain't into black dudes. Same thing with a white woman. Same thing with a black woman. She might look sexy and she might walk past a whole bunch of white dudes that's checking her out, but she ain't interested in them. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm just saying. The only reason, like a woman come outside with something real sexy on, the only reason she get mad at you saying something to her is because you're not the guy that appeals to her imagination. She's trying to get the attention from the guy that appeals to her imagination. It's real simple, y'all. All right, y'all, let me go. I ain't got no books on me. Well, I got one right here. Got one right here. This is called Agitation Gets the Dirt Out. This is me saying all kind of crazy shit in this book. I'm going to make a part 2 to this. I be saying things like, if going to church is about telling the truth, then why does grandma keep wearing a wig to Sunday service? Or y'all be mad at your baby daddy for never spending time with you, but you don't be mad at Jesus and you ain't seen him in 2,000 years. Or, let me see. It's a lot. I'm kidding. It's my jokes, my poems, and I call it my ghetto philosophy. Let me pick one. I live in the basement, but you live underneath me. Let me see. If I get caught by a red light, I'm going to read some more. Alright? It's called Agitation Gets the Dirt Out. That's because I don't know it all, but I might say something to agitate you, and that'll get the dirt out. Later, y'all. Later. Let me see.